Welcome back to our final Knock Knock game series. My name is Gisa with Butterfly Garden Preschool, and this is Adele, my daughter, who's going to be assisting us for this last game again. If you'll remember, the last 5 weeks, we have been working on different sounds each week, playing a knock-knock game. I remember any creative ways that you have modified this game. I'd love to see how you're playing it at home. I'm going to show you some ideas. Remember to stick with the sounds that we're working on for the week and really have your child solidify those sounds before moving on. Like I said, these are the last sounds, and so if you need to repeat them for a couple weeks, it's okay. Take it at your own child's pace and have fun. All right, the knock knock game.
Knock knock.
Who's there? What do we have? Great, Adele. This sound, the sound that X makes, actually is 2 sounds. So here a k and a s together. Great.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Zzz. Knock knock.
Who's there? This is kwa.
Oh.
Kwa. Again, this last group has some trickies to it. So X has 2 sounds, x, and the Q says kwa. Now, technically, you're right, Adele, because kwa is with the QU is when it says kwa. So that's kind of the accepted way that we say it, but we are technically putting a U next to it. So kwa.
Knock knock.
Who's there? All right. So the first day, we always introduce just the sounds. You can play this 2 or 3 times. You can take turns being the knocker. Sometimes your child's the knocker, sometimes the parent's the knocker, and then we mix them up. And the next time we play, we include our objects. So go ahead.
Knock knock.
Who's there? Can you find an object that starts with And just look around your home. If you can't find an object, you're gonna see what we did in a little bit.
Vulture.
Vulture, great.
Knock knock.
Who's there? X. Now, there are not that many kid-friendly words that start with x as the beginning sound. So, Adele drew a picture of a word that starts with an X, but doesn't really say x. In this case, it says
Zzz.
It says xylophone. A little tricky. So what you can also, there's x-ray, so you could draw a picture of an x-ray, unless you have a parent that has an x-ray laying around because they're in the medical field. I would also say it's acceptable to take X in the middle of the word and not necessarily as the very first sound. So for example, exercise. So there is an E, an but exercise. So you can have your child do a little exercise as the example. All right.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Qua.
Qua. All right, let's find a qua. These last sounds you may have a harder
Quail.
time finding something. We happen to have a quail because she has a teacher mommy. And if you'll remember, the quail is the California state bird. But quarter is another, or something that you might find around the house that has a qua, or a quart of milk. You may have to explain that to your kiddos if they're young. but they can always draw something if they can't find something, or you can always find a color, maybe laying around a marker or crayon or a piece of clothing that has a certain color, and you can use that also, or shapes as your objects. All right, last one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Zipper.
Oh, very nice. Zipper.
Zipper.
Thank you. Thank you for demonstrating that. Perfect. Adele, I'm going to have you move the objects so we can start our next game. So this is a game that you can play the second or the third day, maybe the second and the fifth day of the week. And then remember, you only need 5 to 10 minutes playing these games so that your child, stays engaged, stays excited, and, stays focused. So,
Knock, knock.
who's there?
Quack.
Great. And Adele, can you trace that for me? Beautiful. And then I want you to trace it on here. Now, your child can trace it in a salt or sand tray. This is a sand tray. Your child can trace it in flour. Your child can trace it, in flaxseed meal. Thank you. Or your child can even write it on paper if they're at that level. Remember to honor where your child is at. Every child is individual, and we just want to meet them wherever they're at. All right, let's just do one more. You'll go through all 4 of the letters, but we're just going to do one more.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Thank you. Beautiful, Adele. And like I said, parents, you would keep on going and finish the last 2 letters. And then I want to show you another activity that you can do if your child is really accurate with their sounds. So now we know all of the sounds, and if they are about 95 to 100% accurate, so they're only stuck on a few of the letter sounds, you can put out sounds from the previous weeks and have your child make words with all of these sounds. Again, you don't want to attempt this if your child does not know all the sounds, because it will just be way too frustrating for them. And you can challenge older children or children who are in kindergarten or first grade to make vowel combinations, to start putting 2 consonants together for blends, to make words that are a little more challenging. Adele, try to use at least some of the letters while we do this. You don't have to use, these are kind of tough letters to use like 2 of them in the same word, but just make sure you are using them, because we do want to focus on those letters. Can I just adjust the V?
Sure.
Vast, or you can even say that.
Vast.
Great. Vast. Okay, let's practice. Vast. Perfect. All right, let's try. Let's try another word. Let me give you. You'll edit that out. Great. Zag. Great. All right. How about one more? Try zip.
Zip.
Great. Let's do it together. Zip. Yes. So words are going to be. This is probably the most challenging group of sounds, because there just aren't that many kid-friendly one syllable short vowel words to make with those sounds. But you did an excellent job, and I can't wait to hear how your children like this activity. Remember to like and subscribe. That way you can follow us and continue seeing the lessons that we provide.